Good morning, everyone. Do I have the permission of the organizers to start the event?
Yes, you do. Good morning.
All right, then. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. Good morning once again, everyone. Welcome to the 2021 African Business Professionals and Entrepreneur Conference. My name is Kemi Olawoye, and I'll be your host for today. I'm particularly very, very excited about the theme for today's event. As we all know, so much has happened in the past 1 year, running to actually almost 2 years now. And the business landscape, as we know it, has changed drastically. Thank you so much to the organizers, Cityscope Africa, for putting together this very thoughtful conference. And one thing I'm very sure of is that at the end of today's event, we would be leaving with nuggets, business nuggets, things that we can do to move our various businesses and enterprises forward. At this juncture, I would like to invite none other than Oluwatomi Singh. Oluwatomi Olowoyo. I hope I got that correctly. Please, Deputy Director, Projects, Cityscope Africa Media Limited, and the Principal of Cityscope Africa Academy to take the opening remarks. But just before you do that, Oluwatomi Singh, please, I'd like to crave our indulgence to kindly mute our microphones during the course of today's event to enable us enjoy this conference. Tomi Singh, over to you, please.
Okay, thank you so much, Kemi. It's a privilege and it's a wonderful opportunity once again this day to have this conference. I want to welcome every one of us to the African Business Professionals and Entrepreneur Conference 6. The year has been a new phase and it has been a new dimension of doing things. We have moved from physical way of doing business and also to the way of doing things remotely and virtually, just like as we are doing it this day. So I want to welcome us to this program. It promises to be insightful and also enlightening for business professionals and also entrepreneurs in all that we do. Just to let us know that AFPEC is another program of Cityscope Africa Academy, an initiative of Cityscope Africa, which is a platform that connects business professionals and entrepreneurs in Africa. And the Academy is a place where conversation around business, lifestyle, and intercontinental building take place. So for the past few months, there are so many changes that have happened to us, like Kemi actually said. And today we want to look at how we can position ourselves as a brand, as a business, to be able to harness the opportunity that lies even in the COVID era that we are in. So that's how we have lined up a top-notch speakers all throughout a few countries from Africa. They are all coming together to share their insights based on what the time has brought onto us. So I want to welcome once again, and lest I forget, the founder and the CEO, John Fatomi, sent his greeting to each and every one of us. So let us do well to take our pens, let's take our notepads to jot down things, even as we will be learning from our business leaders in Africa. Thank you and welcome once again. Once again.
Thank you very much for that. I mean, you really mentioned key things that I know that we all need to take note of. The theme for today, building a formidable brand in the COVID era. Once again, the theme for today's conference is building a formidable brand in the COVID era. A lot has happened. There's a lot for us to learn. But let me also let us know that if you'd like to share nuggets from today's conversation on social media, you can do that by just typing in the search box, Cityscope Africa. Please tag Cityscope Africa in the stories, in the posts, and we'll definitely be happy to share. Because like I said, there's so much to learn, and it'd be great if you can share what you're learning from today's event with other people as well. At this point, I'd like to introduce our first speaker for today, who will be speaking on how to build a strong employer brand via top-notch candidate experience. Personally, as a business owner, I must tell you how incredibly important it is to have a great workforce, how incredibly important it is to have a great team as an employer. So I'm sure that, this is something that we need to learn, and our speaker will help us do justice to that. Faith Akintunde is a performance and productivity advisor. She is a senior human resource business professional and the founder of HR Pro Leverage, the HRPL Academy, and Finance Pro Leverage. She was named a top-rated HR influencer, nominee on the most inclusive HR influencer list 2019 to 2021. She's a subject matter expert, volunteer with HR Certification Institute USA, certified global professional HR with HRCI, and a certified HR practitioner with CIPM Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, join me as I make welcome our first speaker for today's conference, Faith Akintunde. Thank you so much for joining us today, Faith.
Thank you so much, Kemi. Thank you. Right. It's so good to be here. I want to appreciate the leadership of Cityscope Africa for the opportunity to be here today. And I want to say good afternoon or good morning. Good morning, African time. Good morning to you, and good day to you across the continent or wherever you are in the world today. I believe this is recorded, so hopefully somebody is going to get to hear or watch this sometimes soon or in nearest future. How has it been? How has the business been? How has your economy been? It's been an interesting time, interesting either ways. For the past couple of months now, or you could even say years, because we've been in it since 2019, late 2019, COVID hit the world. And it's been a different ball game when it comes to the business world since then. So we would be looking at how we can leverage the opportunities that exist in the world of recruitment or in the world of talent management or talent acquisition, bearing from a background and my interaction with a couple of organizations ranging from small and medium scale enterprises. I could share a couple of experiences, and I want to believe that the next couple of minutes that we have would be as engaging as possible. Yeah, so right here, if you could use the chat box, if you run a business, if you're a professional, I'd like to see your comments to tell me, oh I'm a professional, a business owner, a hybrid professional. So hybrid is you run your own side hustle and you're an employee of an organization, right? I'd like to see that so I can understand the kind of audience we have right here. But while that is going on, I'd jump right into what we have today. We will speak extensively about candidate experience and how we can maximize the opportunities we have in that space, especially in this COVID era, right? Of course, COVID has hit us. We're coming out of it. There is a second, there's a third wave, and business itself has been going through a roller coaster of activities. So it's just for the strongest, right? But hopefully we can leverage as much as we can within the people management space. The fact remains that your competitive edge is with the people. Your competition, your contemporaries in the business space can replicate anything. They can replicate your strategy. They can replicate your pricing. They can replicate your quality, right? But they cannot replicate your people. So knowing that that's the edge you have, it's important to pay attention to that. Excellent. So I see entrepreneurs here. I see director of non-profit organizations. I see professionals here. That's excellent. Your Excellencies, you're welcome. And I'm hoping that this conversation is going to benefit us in diverse manners. And I'm also looking forward to your interaction in the comments space. Now, one of the things we can do that would hardly cost us much is to maximize our candidates' experience for each time people come to interact with us, either virtually or physically. We would be able to position ourselves as an icon of excellence or an icon of the preferred employer through our candidate experience. We can do that. We can create some experiences that are positively unforgettable. And as I engage people, I usually say that some of these things don't cost an arm and a leg. An arm and a leg, there are things that are within our control, things that just a little tweak here, a little tweak there, we can get an advantage in that space of candidate experience. So let me quickly break it down. When you talk about a strong brand, you're talking about a perception in the market where you play. So off the top of your head, you can say, oh, strong brands are the likes of Google, the likes of Apple and Microsoft. There's no argument about that. But within the industry where you play, are you a strong brand? Do you have an opportunity to make an impression of a strong brand? Now, it's not just about popularity votes. It's also about the impressions, the perceptions, and the larger the number of people that come in contact with us and take away some kind of perception over time. So let's say that people come to your organization maybe regularly, or you do have an average of 10 to 20 people that come to your organization physically, or the same number that interacts with your brand online. What kind of experiences do they have? Do they remember you for good, or do they remember you for the worse? You think about your brand from that point of view, and then the strength of your brand is determined by how many of those positive impressions you're able to make to create a positive perception of a good brand. Now, it doesn't have to be any of these ones that I mentioned in this instance, or even related ones, your most loved brands, the most popular brands. It may not really have to be those ones. It could be a regular brand within your space. In Africa, there are certain kind of brands that are unique to us, which we love, or some of us have had, terrible experiences with soft brands. But there are most loved brands within regions, within continents. And what makes the difference of within a strong brand and a weak so you might not have money like these brands that I've mentioned here, but you do have an opportunity to create a lasting impression with candidates that is yourself as the business owner. Now, this comes without saying that if you have a strong brand, that brand is going to be formidable, most likely. Now, these organizations we mentioned earlier would have all the money to invest, but you do not have all the money to invest. You can achieve as much advantage, maybe not to the magnitude of the so-called popular brands, but you can achieve as much advantage within the space you operate. So don't mind me if I keep emphasizing concepts and thoughts processes. I'm actually a trainer, so that sort of helps me to speak in a manner that I want you to understand. Right. So what are those things that you take away from building your brand? Of course, you can make some good profit. It can improve your profitability. It can give you an opportunity to attract stronger candidates or talent. And that is possible because sometimes, I'm sure people in this room you would have encountered once or twice in your experience where you have made an offer to a candidate, or you might even have heard, made an offer to a candidate and the candidate takes your offer, gives you a resumption date, and a couple of days or even on the day of resumption, they call you to say, oh, sorry, I'm unable to resume, or I'm unable to join you. That has happened, right? So I believe that there must be another brand that has interacted with that candidate and the candidate preferred that brand to yours. And that's why they made the decision or to dump your offer or dump your employment contract and go somewhere else. Now, this is not to make you feel bad, right? But it's just the fact. So if you invest in your brand and build a brand, a strong brand, you might reduce the incidences of such situations, right? Now, you can also increase your profitability by reducing the cost of attraction. I speak from HR perspective. Now, if you want to hire a candidate that is quite expensive and they love your brand, they want to work with your brand, they can take a pay cut to join you. I mean, in my entire experience, I had countless transactions like that. I have taken a pay cut to join a bigger brand before. And I have a couple of my mentees that have taken pay cuts to join bigger brands. I mean, a very strong talent on my team recently, okay, not like now, in one of my experiences, took a bigger offer. The offer was a contract role, but the brand was way bigger than the brand he was leaving. Now that brand would attract him at a lower cost, and that will reduce their cost of doing business because the brand is bigger and this talent is solid. It would take a pay cut to join you, but another organization cannot attract that same talent at the same cost. So that improves your profitability in a dimension. Another thing it can add to you is the recommendations, right? And that you get, which also would improve your employment cycle. So for example, you want to hire someone, they take a long time before they make that decision, or you've hired people, you treated them well, they are leaving, they are recommending your organization to other employees or to other talents. And you can quickly turn around your recruitment cycle to have people on your team. And of course, it's a great marketing opportunity. If you can think of other benefits that comes with a formidable brand, you can put it in the chat room. I'm sure a lot of us can benefit from that. Of course, the benefits are not limited to this, but we're sort of limited by time. Right. So we're talking about a strong brand. We need to quickly speak about candidate experience. Candidate experience is basically the encounters of job seekers when they interact with your brand or when they come to your organization. And that spans from when they see your adverts to when they apply to when they come in for interviews, right? To the employment contracts, negotiations, and all of that. And of course, up until when they resume. From the time they onboard, they resume as your employee, the next thing you want to focus on is employee experience. You see that? So you transit for the employee, they're counting employment days, they're counting their days with employee experience, right? So let's quickly talk about the candidate experience, which is between when they get your advert or when they interact with your brand as an employer and when they join the organization. What makes this experience remarkable, beautiful, memorable, positively, right, are the things that the people, the candidates go through from those two spaces of time, or the interaction with your brand, application, up until when they onboard. Whatever a candidate experience or goes through within that span of time will determine the strength of your brand, the strength of the impression your brand has made on the employee. You've seen people 6 months they're leaving, 1 year they're leaving. Some don't leave until 5 years. Some don't leave until 10 years. It is the impact your brand has made on them, and of course, subsequent impacts being made when they became employee that usually determine how long they stay with you, how happy they are, how engaged they are. But that's not the focus today. The focus is how do we make sure that we're creating a memorable experience that can possibly impact the brand when they interact with our organization. And this is not just for the HR people in the room. You might be HR, you might be the business owner, and you have an HR person reporting to you or working with you, or it's an HR consultant. You want to make sure that the moment you put out adverts, check the waiting time. How long does it take for the HR team to respond, or even your consultant to respond to the recruitment applications or to job applications, to inquiries about the job and all of that? Do you have automated systems that help the candidates to, go through the process without hassles? Does it take such a long time before they complete the entire recruitment process? How long does it take in your organization? On the average, how long does it take from when an employee applies to when they resume? Or let's say, what's the shortest period that you've encountered? I've done 6 weeks before. I've done 9 weeks before. I've done 12 weeks before. SLA for recruitment actually in the industry is 3 months. 3 months, that's 90 days. 90 days from when the vacancy is approved by the organization or by the leadership, and when the employee accepts your offer. See, the SLA is 90 days. But if you can do it for less, it's a great opportunity to improve your candidate experience. The kind of question you ask people during interviews, those things really matter. How your employees interact with candidates when they come. The current organization where I work, when I went for the recruitment, or I'm starting from the interview, my first interaction with the organization started with the security man. It was so nice to me. It was so respectful. It was so patient. And I just couldn't forget that experience. And I'm so happy to say today that that same security man has actually become a full-time employee within the organization, within the space of time, right? In less than a year. Now, that's not the focus. The focus is how people make candidates feel. I felt so great about it, and I kept on talking about it. I still keep talking about it. When I got in there, nobody knew me, of course. I came for an interview. But the kind of smile, the kind of warmth that I got from just passing by and meeting people on my walkway, they are so heartwarming that I can't forget them. Of course, I'm still in the organization today, and those experiences do have a strong bearing on the things I do and the decisions I'm making concerning my interaction with the organization and, of course, my career. Right. But I've also been to organizations where the recruitment experience wasn't so super, but of course, we managed. Yeah, but we don't forget. Candidates don't forget. Now, how you know this is you must have gone through 1 or 2 interactions that's also do with recruitment, and you can recount the very good ones and you can recount the not so good ones. And that tells us the kind of impressions that our organizations make on people when they come in contact with us, especially around the recruitment process. These are the steps. I believe I've spoken to it right from when they are aware of your organization, of your vacancy. So when they consider it, at that consideration time, they're talking to people. Oh, do you know this organization? Do you know that organization? I know that at that point, a lot of social media platforms are being consulted. In Nigeria, I know about Nairaland, where virtually everything is discussed. People do background checks on organizations. Globally, you can talk about Glassdoor, where people review organizations either as existing employees or external employees. Whether we like it or not, people talk about us on social media. People talk about the organization. And the fact is that people voluntarily talk about organizations. Now, are people talking about you? Are people talking about your organization positively in a voluntary manner? And I'm so certain, because I've seen it over time based on the industry where I operate and of course my profession. You see people go through a recruitment process and they come online to discuss their audio, the one that went well, and the funny questions some interviewers are asking. They share those things, they talk about it. And it's not limited to these social media platforms that you see here. A lot of other platforms that you're not even aware of, where people talk about you. WhatsApp status, Facebook stories. People are talking about employer brands, whether it's good or not. And the fact is that the bad ones get shared by over 72% or about 72% of candidates. If they had a bad experience, they will certainly talk about it without reservation. The good ones might not usually talk, right? They might just share. But the bad ones, because of the emotions that come with it, they're usually shared online. And maybe sometimes in person, interacting with someone who says, oh, if you can imagine what I went through, going to this organization or passing through the recruitment process, especially with waiting time. The opportunity we have, a lot of that is within our control. Waiting time, the kind of questions that are asked, how quickly we turn around the process, giving feedback to them after the interviews. Those are very cheap, affordable opportunities that we can leverage to improve our brand. Now, when you want to improve the candidate experience, you want to do that through your values. What do you stand for? I know an organization whose MD will frown at delaying a candidate for more than 10 minutes based on the appointment. So it is important that HR schedules the appointment properly, make sure that the person they're supposed to interact with is available at the time. And as candidates is coming, they are received with warmth and they are passed taken to the person they're supposed to interact with. Now, your value on respect for individuals, time management, value for life, value for time would come glaring, will be very obvious based on these interactions that we have with people. And if we live true to our values, people would see how clearly we are attracted or we are aligned to our value, and how, of course, that improves how people admire our purpose. Do people go through your process and realize how objective your process is? Do you do checks to actually assess your recruitment process? I know an organization that does mystery shopping. They would go through one of their processes through a stranger. You ask a stranger to go through their processes, one of their processes, and give them feedback. You want to check how people see these things, right? You want to ensure that you are meeting the needs of the people. Wow, excellent. Time is in my favor. Right. So I believe strongly that you would have comments, you would have questions, you would have things to say regarding how to build a formidable employer brand. The onus of this conversation, at the heart of this conversation, is the fact that businesses are going through tough times, and we want to look for the most affordable, quickest ways to build our brands whilst yet doing business profitably. And you don't have to, shut down an aspect of your business because you want to invest into marketing and branding. You can as well do it in a grassroots manner, organically, through your interactions with candidates and your interaction with people. All right. So that's a thank you from me. I want to thank you for the opportunity to share on this platform. I can be reached via faithakintunde.com. I can be reached on LinkedIn. I can also be reached on my email, faithakintunde@gmail.com. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you very much, Faith, for that very, 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 very insightful and educative session. Please, if you could just stay on the call for a couple of minutes. I don't know if our audience have questions. Please share in the chats rather any question that you may have for Faith. In addition, I'd like to hear from you. What are the key nuggets? What are the things that you learned from her session? I'll share my first. Sorry about that. I'll share my first. I like how that you mentioned that, for a lot of businesses, a way to think about employing people is more like acting talent. So because the way Nigeria is, the way that looking for jobs, many employers feel like they can do anything that they like. And I also like the fact that you mentioned that, it's also about respect for individuals. I like to say something. I like to say that everyone deserves some level of respect, even if they are junior to you. And, you really spoke very keenly on that. And finally, another thing I noted was how you mentioned that we should create a memorable candidate and employee experience. And I absolutely love that. Personally, I'm taking that home and I'm going to practice that which you said. Thank you very much for sharing your social media handles as well. We definitely look to comment and to connect. If you don't mind, could you share a link to that in the chat box so that it'll be easy for people to just click on that and connect with you immediately? Possibly a link to your Facebook page or a link to your your LinkedIn or anything. Sorry, is my voice a bit low? You're muted. Okay, all right then.
Okay, yeah, we can hear you.
All right then. So if you don't mind, if you could just share in the comment section, in the chat box rather, a link to your LinkedIn page so that we can connect very quickly. Thank you for that once again.
Thank you for
that. At this point, I'd like to sorry, the next comment in that box. At this point, I'd like to invite our speaker. There's so much for us to learn today, and just like Faith said, the good thing about the different areas that we're touching on is how that at the end of the day, these areas affect your bottom line as a business owner. So many employers feel like, oh, if I don't employ the right person, what does it mean? As far as I'm selling, I'm doing marketing, I'm doing business development, nothing will happen. But at the end of the day, having great employees, having a great team, will help you to scale your business and move to the next level. On the other hand, our next speaker will be speaking on why visibility matters, your personal brand and career advancement. Personally, I have benefited immensely from having a personal brand, from putting things out there, from putting content out there. And I'm sure that our next speaker will speak very keenly on this. Our next speaker is none other than Nike Moshe. I hope I pronounced that correctly. I met her earlier, just before the conference started. And she is the founder of Women in Management Africa, Tanzania. One great thing about today's conference is how that our speakers, our organizers rather, have brought together key stakeholders, people that would help us learn from different parts of Africa, and I'm particularly very excited about that. She is the founder and she's the founder and CEO of Women in Management Africa and the country director of CV People Tanzania. In 2021, she was recently the award winner for the most visionary CEO for women in Nigeria. She's also among the top 100 global HR minds. Please join me as I welcome our speaker, Nike Moshina. Can you hear me, please?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Absolutely. Yes, I can. Thank you so much. We can see your video. You have the floor.
Thank you so much. It's really a great honor to be part of this conference and to share my expertise and my knowledge on personal branding. First of all, I would like to share a bit of a story about my personal branding. I call it my personal branding story. You know, the world has really changed for the past year because of COVID. A lot of business have lost, you know, the market share. They went down. A lot of employees were retrenched. And guess what? Even my organization, CV People Africa, was part of a big franchise. We lost our partnership last year. So it was really a very tough time for us as a business. Imagine you've been holding the business for the last 7 years and all of a sudden everything just goes down. But it was also a wake-up call for us to, you know, to move forward and to start over. So during last year, I was nominated for one of the awards here in Tanzania, Consumer Awards. It was the most preferred visionary CEO. But unfortunately, I did not win that award, and it was going through the voting process. And if you could imagine, I was the last one with the lowest votes. So that for me was a wake-up call that, you know, it means that my visibility was very low. Everybody knew about CV People Africa. Everybody knew about women in management, but they didn't know who was behind the wonderful companies and entities that I was part of. So I decided, you know, that it's important to improve my personal brand and, you know, to share my story with people. So it's a very nice, there is power. There is power in personal brand because people want to relate with people, not entities, not the organization. As you can see on this photo, Tim Cook, who is the founder of Apple, he has more than 12.6 followers compared to the organization that he has found, which is 6 million followers. So it's almost like double the amount of the followers. Bill Gates also has 31.9 million followers compared to the organization of Microsoft. This is through their LinkedIn and Twitter pages. So there is something about personal branding. Personal branding is very important. With COVID-19, the world has moved to a digital landscape. So you have to improve your digital presence. People have to know who you are. And even during lockdown within the COVID era, a lot of people had to stay in their homes. They are working remotely. Actually, we've even seen some companies, they've changed policy. They're not going back to the normal work. Everybody's going remotely. So with that being said, we have seen the social media has really gone up. So in order to tap to this opportunity, many organizations and many people are looking for various options to take their business and brands on digital platforms. We have also seen brands. I'm also doing it in my organization. I want my employees to focus on their personal brands because as they're focusing on that, you know, even the business, people start to understand more about what is it that you do. And also there is power and opportunity for often comes to those who are known for who they are and for what they do. And it's not about who you know, but also who knows you. Like if you Google yourself, are you coming up on the Google search? Are you showing up like with the results or nothing is being found? Do you have an online presence? So those are the questions you should be asking. So as much as we know the importance of being visible online, we have seen people shying away from being visible. Like I've said, I was also one of them. I was scared to even share my personal story. I was scared to even post. I was not even clear about what my brand is. So it looks like fear is holding a lot of people back in terms of speaking up, sharing content, standing up in terms of being seen, raising our voice. We are remaining hidden, and because of that, we are losing a lot of opportunities. And even for us women, it's even the worst case. Like, we don't even want to self-promote. We don't want to brag about our accomplishment or even sharing our expertise. And that's why we are losing, or we are moving away from a lot of opportunities we could have been falling on our laps. Another reason could be that people are not aware of their expertise, knowledge, or even talents they have, or maybe they do, but they don't know how to communicate them so that people can be able to share or even to understand more about their brand. How can we be visible online? First of all, we need to start building a brand. Each one of us is a brand called you. Your brand is your reputation. It sends a message to people why you do what you do, who you are. It's an extension of yourself. It also provides information about what is it that you want to accomplish. And also, it's important to know your why. Why do you want to build your personal brand? And personal brand is personal. It is different from the brand or from corporate brands. People want to relate with the person, with the stories that, showing your authenticity, like what has happened in your life, what has changed, what lessons have you incurred. And you might ask yourself, like, why should you create a brand? Like I said, the world has moved in a very fast pace, and we are all moving into the digital presence. It's important to build an online presence, and people do business with people. They want to connect with the person behind the entity, behind the organization. Personal brand can give you many benefits. It can give you leads. It can connect you to potential clients, employers. It can also create awareness about you and your skills and your expertise or talents. It can grow your network. It can even make money for you through speaking gigs, writing gigs, appearance, book, advertisement, so many aspects. But building a brand, a personal brand, is hard work. It takes time. It takes consistency. It takes persistency, clarity. You have to be clear about what is it that you want to say, and also authenticity. People want to relate. They want to resonate. So there's sometimes you have to be vulnerable. You have to share some challenging things. But yes, those are the type of things that followers or your people can be able to resonate. And also, brand has to reflect your image, your mission, your values, your vision. So how do we go about in creating a personal brand? First of all, you have to do a SWOT analysis. You have to have clarity. You need to know, what are your strengths? What are your, weakness, opportunities, or threats? Like, what are you good at? What are skills do you have that makes you credible? What expertise can you share with the world? Like I said, authenticity is key in personal branding. And people want to connect with you through authenticity. Being authentic is key. And personal brand can, help you differentiate you from competitors. And this is something no one can take away from you because it's personal. People cannot copy your personal brand. It's personal. So these are some of the self-assessment questions that you can use as you do your SWOT analysis. you can ask yourself, what are my expertise? What am I good at? What are my values? What am I passionate about? Am I good at speaking? Am I good at writing? Am I good in cooking? Am I good in fitness? What can your brand stand for? Who am I? What is my position in the industry? Who is my audience? Where can I find my audience? What will my brand stand for? What type of content am I going to share? And which platform can I use? Is it LinkedIn? Is it Instagram? Is it Twitter? Is it even Clubhouse? Is it WhatsApp? What platform are you going to use? So when you are building your personal brand, you have to look within. It's about you, and also you have to be authentic. So once you have clarity on your brand, the next step is to set up goals. You have to find your why. Like, why are you looking to build your personal brand? So for example, one of my goals this year was to acquire a board member position. So I need to come up with strategies on how am I going to attain a corporate board member position. Can I share content regarding my skills in boards? Can I connect to the right people who can connect me to those opportunities? So once you have defined your goal, you need to set up strategies on how you can be able to attain those goals in terms of your personal brand. Like, what do you want in the next 3 or 6 months, 9 months, 12 months? Like, what is your end goal? What are you looking to achieve? Is it brand awareness? Do you want to monetize your brand in terms of creating revenue? Do you want to grow your network? What is it that you want? So these are the brand goals, like I've shared before. Most people, when they build their personal brand, they're looking for awareness. They want people to get to notice who they are. They also want to generate leads. Sometimes as you share content personally, showing your expertise, at the end of the day, you want someone who can come and purchase your services or your products. You want to monetize your digital presence. Yes, sometimes people want money. You want to have revenue. You want to showcase your professional expertise, especially with recruiters and employers being in LinkedIn or other social media platform. You showcasing that, they can be able to track you online by showcasing that type of professional or insights that you have. Gone are the days people are looking for your CV. People want to see you in action. They want to show your portfolio. You say you're a graphic designer, show me your ads. You say you're a HR leader, show me your expertise as a HR leader. And also other people, they want to grow your network. It's true. As you are building content and building your personal brand, your network also grows because you are attracting the right people, the right audience based on your brand. And other look for opportunities such as speaking engagements, book deals, advertisements, and all these things. So in your personal brand, there's a lot of questions. There's a lot of self-assessment, self-reflection that you have to do. You might ask yourself, like, do the right people know about you? Are you positioned well to attract the right opportunity? Sometimes, so for example, like I've said, one of my goals was to attract a board member opportunity. But most of these leaders are usually on LinkedIn. So I need to position myself in LinkedIn. Or you have a talent, you sing or you act, whatever, the right platform could be Instagram or TikTok. So you have to position well for the right opportunities. What kind of clients might be interested in the skill set or target audience? How can you help them? At the end of the day, it's not about you. As you're building your personal brand, you also have to solve problems for other people within your areas of skill set or expertise. What kind of problem are you solving? Your content could be educational, it could be entertaining, but then at the end of the day, people want to you want to share insights or educational materials so that people can learn from you. It's not about being promotional all the time. And also, which platform is good for you? And said earlier, what problem can you solve? So as you're building your personal brand on social media, look for social medias that aligns with your brand. Every personal brand is different, and there's particular platform which resonates with your brand. Like, for example, like I've said, I resonate more on LinkedIn because my expertise, my network is more on LinkedIn. But I also try to share other type of content on Instagram because there's an audience there of young people, youth, that could also benefit from my brand. And also, does your social media align with your mission, your persona, your values? Are you posting consistently at all channels? Are you using the 80-20% rule? The 80% rule is that you should focus 80% of your time on commenting, engaging conversation, connecting with people. And the 20% you should focus on promoting your brand. So once you have defined your goals and coming up with strategies, you need to have a plan on how to do that. So for example, if you're on LinkedIn, make sure that your CV, your profile, your bio and photo is ready. You need to come up with a network plan, your audience, where are they? How can you connect with them in terms of building your network? What platform are you going to use? What is your strategy in terms of creating content? What kind of content are you going to share? Are you going to be writing articles? Are you going to be sharing videos? Are you just going to talk about just inspirational quotes? So it's really up to you in terms of the strategy that you're going to have depending on your personal brand. So it's always important to measure and evaluate. I wanted to talk about this guy. His name is Kabi Lame. He's a TikTok sensation. In March 2020, Kabi Lame was made redundant as a factory worker. Ever since then, he was able to post his first TikTok video on March 15th, 2020. This was actually during the COVID era. And he was able to become the second person ever to reach 100 million followers, amassed more than 1.5 billion likes on his videos with the average view of 44 million per video. Up to right now, he's earning about 50,000 to 200,000 per branded post. And now he's now worth over $2 million. All this was able to accomplish in just 17 months after losing his job and during the COVID era. This is the power of personal branding. And I wanted to share some of the benefits I've seen for the last, I was just online on LinkedIn, but I was never commenting, I was never posting anything. Actually, I was busy promoting my products, my services on HR, recruitment, posting jobs. But starting in July, I changed. I started to share my story. I started to share my personal brand, and I have seen significant changes for the last 6 months. Through this, actually, I was able to meet with Cityscope because of personal branding. I've been featured into many magazines for the last 3 months. Some of these magazines are not even in Tanzania, in other African countries. I've been invited to speaking engagements. There was even one of the leading telecom company has wanted me to sign up for to become their corporate brand ambassador. There are so many benefits of improving or enhancing your personal brand. Always try to be visible, be heard, and be seen. You need to show up when you're given an opportunity. You need to stand up in terms of raising your voice. so much for this opportunity on sharing my knowledge on personal branding. I'll be happy to answer any questions, or if you have any comments. As you guys know, building a personal brand takes time. So it's better to start now. If you have not started, it's better to enhance, to improve your content for your audience. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for that. Thank you so much. That was very, very good. I learned a number of things personally as well. I was very excited to hear like the benefits of personal branding and things that you have personally gained and opportunities that have opened up to you just because of personal branding. Thank you very much for that. Is there any way, do you mind sharing in the chat box a link to your LinkedIn page so that people can connect with you in today's session? And then if you have any questions for her, please do you mind sharing them in the chat box. Can we share questions that we have on regarding this session, as well as nuggets, things that we learned from this session? Personally, I like the fact that like mentioned, that each personal brand is unique, and that's what many of us don't understand. Trying to copy another person or trying to be like another person that we know or have met online. I also love the fact that you mentioned that, people are always afraid to share their story. People are always afraid to put themselves out there, but at the end of the day, you just need to start. So today is a good day to start. Thank you very much for that. Once again, this is the 2021 African Business Professionals and Entrepreneurs Conference, the 6th edition. It's quite different because this time around, we are completely virtual. The world has changed in the past, in over a year now, going to 2 years actually, and almost everything is now virtual. And for me, I consider it a privilege because it makes that regardless of where you are able to learn, you're able to connect with everyone around the world. Our speaker who just spoke is all the way from Tanzania, and that was absolutely brilliant. I'll definitely love to connect with you, Nike. So I look forward to having your link in the comment section. We have a lot of remarkable speakers that are still coming up in the next few minutes, but let me quickly mention that at the end of today's conference, we're going to be giving two business owners, an opportunity to get a free advert placement on Cityscope Africa. Isn't that amazing? That is amazing. When the organizers mentioned this to me, I was amazed. So absolutely, absolutely, absolutely amazing. You need to ensure that you stick till the end of today's session so that you can listen and be aware of what you need to do to take advantage of this great opportunity. Like I said earlier, please feel free to post on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on Instagram, or Twitter about today's session, Cityscope Africa. And please ensure that you tag Cityscope Africa so that we can repost, we can reshare, and we can connect with you. Entrepreneurship can be tough. Being a business owner can be tough, but forums like this make it all the more better. Thank you very much, Nike, for that. I can see a link to your LinkedIn profile right there. Thank you for that. Moving on very quickly, there's still a lot. I hope that we're all taking notes. See, I have my pen here, and I have my notebook here as well. So I'm taking notes of everything that is being said because I want to be able to go back to the session afterwards and sort of look through the things that I've learned. The amazing thing, the great thing also is that our organizers will be sharing a link to the recording with us as well so that we can also listen. I'm not sure if the speakers will be able to avail us of the presentation slides, but I mean, just listening to the session will help you to go through and recap the things that you learned today. Now, okay, so someone has a question. Let me ask that before I introduce our next speaker. Okay, so Olaide Awosonya is directing a question at you, Nike. She's how can we relate building strong networking? Well, I believe I should be building a strong network with personal branding. So she's asking for the relationship between building a strong network and personal branding. I don't know if you got that.
Yes, I think I got it. This falls down to content strategy. This goes down to your content strategy. So, for example, I have seen, like I said, one of my goals is to attract a board member opportunity this year. So I have started creating content showing my expertise in terms of recruiting board members. So as I'm speaking about board members, as I'm sharing content on skills required for board members, I'm attracting recruiters who are usually looking for employees in board members. And also, so your content is the one that attracts your audience. So you asked, how can you build that network? You have to create a content strategy that people could relate depending on your audience. So for example, I'm also, part of my brand is women leaders. So I usually talk about women. I put myself in their shoes, the lessons that I've learned, the mistakes that I'm putting myself in my shoes and I'm sharing the content. So by doing that, I'm attracting, people are relating, the women are relating, they're like, oh, I did that too. And that's the way you build your network. So your content strategy will be able to attract the right audience or the right network for you.
Thank you much. Thank you very much for that. That was very good. So, I mean, the key thing is that you need to be very deliberate about your content strategy. You can't be trying to be you can't be trying to position yourself as an HR professional and be posting out content about engineering, except you're trying to relate both, right? You can't absolutely do that. And I love that. Please allow me to bring on our next speaker. Our next speaker will speak on executive presence. Wow. This was a well thought through conference, and kudos to the organizers. Our next speaker is the chairman of Chester Bridge Group, Dubai and Nigeria. He's a seasoned, successful, focused, and result-driven global leader and a king. He sits as the chairman of Chester Bridge Group, and he's also the co-founder of Pan-African Leadership and Entrepreneurship Development Center, the privileged organizers of the Pan-African Humanitarian Summit Awards. He's the executive director at Leaders Without Borders Development Center. He's also, the director of projects for Africa World Business Center under the private office of His Highness Sheikh Ahmed bin Faisal Al Qasim of UAE. Please permit me as I welcome our next speaker, Ambassador Dr. Eno Priests. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Hi everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you very well.
Great. It's a great day, like I always say. And it's a great opportunity to be here. Don't mind me, I'm trying to set up. I just got back into Nigeria early this morning. So I've been trying to, I've been working all day, even on my flights. So I'm just trying to set up. I just got to the office, and then I've been listening to all the speakers. Trust me, this is phenomenal. This is great. Thank you for having me. Yes, thank you for having me. Thank you for putting this together to be able to help business people across the world and across Africa. My focus is basically on Africa. So I'm going to give you a little bit about myself, a little background about myself. I grew up in Lagos, Nigeria. I was born in Lagos, Nigeria. Never knew my father till about the age of 15. And I said to myself, I need to be better. And in that quest, I decided to study a couple of people across the world that have made sense. And one of those people is Bill Clinton. I'm sure we all know Bill Clinton. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can, sir.
Yeah, sure, we do. We do know him.
So One of the people I had to study was Bill Clinton. I had to study Nelson Mandela. And I asked myself, what makes these people different? Why are they different and why do they stand out from the crowd? Now, basically, I'm supposed to be talking about executive presence, but executive presence is interconnected with personal branding. Just like the last speaker said, personal branding is what keeps everything alive. Without a personal brand, you are a commodity in the market. I'm going to say that again. Without a personal brand, you are a commodity in the market. So your personal brand is what makes you stand out. It's what gives you the edge from every other person. All right?
Yes, sir.
So, great. So permit me to share my screen if that's possible.
Go ahead,
right? Sir. Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, can you also see my screen?
Okay, it's coming up. Okay, yes, we can, sir.
Is it up?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So thank you very much. I'm sure you can all see this. Now, this is my personal logo that represents me. Now, I'm talking about personal brand here and executive presence, so I'm going to combine both. Now, if you look at this logo, it's a representation of who I am, what I do, and what I speak about, what I teach about, and what people know me for. So there's a crown there, and then there's the head of a lion, and then there's my name. In the profile, when she was reading the profile, she said, he's also a king. Now, let me break down the word king for you. I'm a kingdom. K is for kingdom. I is for institution. N is for nation. G is for generation. So I'm a kingdom builder. I'm an institutional builder. I'm a nation builder. I'm a generational builder. I hope that makes sense.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so great. Thank you for having me. I already said that. So branding. Now, with a personal approach and with a personable approach and personal inspiration, I help business professionals create executive presence, image, and style that help them attract opportunities in 90 days or less. Now, whenever you ask me what I do or who I am, this is what I tell you, because this is the core of my existence. This is why I live. This is why I breathe. This is why I do what I do, to help people build their executive presence, image, and style that would help them attract opportunities in 90 days or less. So it is not what you don't have that limits you, but get it, it is what you have and you do not know how to use. So the question has always been, what do you have and you do not know how to use? When people first meet you, they immediately form opinions about you. All right? And that opinion is a basic representation of how they see you and what you represent. Now, these impressions include things about character, efficiency, and friendliness. Now, I call this the 7-in-11 analysis. They will decide in 7 seconds from 11 impressions whether they like you, whether they dislike you, whether you're indifferent. And that would likely determine the satisfaction of their experience and yours. So what are the 7-in-11 quiz? The first thing they think is that, are you clean? Are you engaging? Are you credible? Are you knowledgeable? Are you responsive? Are you friendly? Are you helpful? Are you understanding? Are you courteous? Are you confident? And are you professional? Now, it is subconscious thing. It happens subconsciously without your knowing. All right. There are some things you just think about. It just comes subconsciously into your mind. Is this person clean? Is this person friendly? Is he rude? Is he arrogant? Is he professional? Can he help me? Does he understand me? So all of that is what builds up the perception when people meet you. So brand is not a logo. People usually say brand. When you see this, the first thing that comes to your mind is, oh, that's a brand. No. The logo is not the brand, and a brand is not a logo. So you see the Versace, you see the Lamborghini, you see the Walmart, you see the Apple, Nike, Louis Vuitton, you see Hisense, Bank of America, you see Tesla, Amazon, Mercedes-Benz, Patek Philippe, you see Rolex and all of that. So let's look at this. It is not what you say about yourself, but it's what people say about you. It is not what you say about yourself, but it is what people say about you. How they think about you, how they feel about you, and how they perceive you. So what is the personal brand? Your personal brand is the powerful, clear, positive idea that comes to mind whenever others think of you. It is what you stand for, the values, your abilities, and actions that others associate with you. So when you see me, the first thing you associate with me is excellence. And excellence is seen in your appearance. Like the saying goes, it's the way you are dressed that you'll be addressed. So how you dress determines how people address you. Building value is not enough. You need to communicate it. And that also is personal branding. Personal branding is communicating value. Communicating value. So everyone, look at your hands. I want everyone to look at their hands. Look at your hands. Everyone, yeah, wherever you are, just look at your hands. What's in there? What do you see there? What do you see? I need everyone to answer, probably one by one. What do you see?
There are lines on the ends.
There are lines in the hand. Okay. Any other person? Any other answer?
Well,
I
see my palm.
You see your palms.
I see unique pathways, right?
You see unique what?
Unique pathways.
Unique pathways. Great, 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 great. Any other person? Any other person? Okay, so let's go. What you see in your palms represents your identity. It is unique to you. It is peculiar to you. No two people have the same fingerprint. You're different. It says that you are different. You're exceptional. You stand out. You are a rare species. That you see in your palm also represents your income. It also represents your influence. Now, you are shaped for a purpose. Get this. That's why you're different. And why are you shaped for a purpose? Check this out. You're shaped because you have spiritual gifts. You have a heart, which is your, you have abilities, which is just, you have experiences, and you can deliver and dominate. Now, this is what good you are here to become who you are. So your brand is what people think of you when they think of you. So the question right now is, when people think of you, what comes to their mind? What do they think about? For instance, if you think about if the name Ronaldo is mentioned, what comes to your mind? What comes to your mind when Ronaldo is mentioned?
Football.
Football. When you mention Tiger Woods, what comes to your mind?
Golf.
Golf. When you mention Elon Musk, what comes to your mind?
That's Tesla.
Tesla. When you mention Tom Cook, what comes to your mind? Tim Cook, what comes to your mind?
Who?
Okay, when you mention Bill Gates, what comes to your mind?
That's Microsoft.
Microsoft. So when your name is mentioned, what comes to people's mind? Am I making sense here?
Yes, sir.
So it's very important that there is something that comes to mind when your name is mentioned or when people think of you. So I'm going to be talking about key elements to personal branding. So let's look at the first one, positioning. One of the key elements in personal branding is positioning. It means to appear on the right time, at the right place, and to the right people. Every time you step out, you need to understand that people that you're meeting can either take you to the top or bring you down. But with someone that has personal branding, positioning is very key. Positioning is very key because it's one great way to widen your network by attending quality events. People shy away from attending events. I wonder why. But if you need to build your brand, you need to start attending quality events. The more you socialize, the bigger the chance it is to meet the right people that will help you with your success. So positioning is very important. I mean, this kind of platform is where you can also meet people of like minds, where you can share ideas and then climb up the ladder together. The second one is be yourself. People often want to be like every other person. You are different, so if you want to be like someone else, you are imitating a different person. Be yourself. One of the most important elements in creating your own brand is being yourself. Find your own style. Instead of following the crowd, use your style and uniqueness to attract your desired jobs or your desired clients. To stand out from the crowd, find your own style. Create a new set of footprints for others to follow. Let people get to follow you instead of you following people to do what they're doing. When you do what they're doing, you get the same results that they get. So be different and then get different results for yourself. The next one is believe in your brand. To create a successful branding, you must first buy into your own brand. Now, I usually tell people, you cannot sell what you cannot buy. I'm going to say that again. You cannot sell what you cannot buy. So you have to convince yourself first that you can buy your own brand before you are able to sell it to other people. Because if you are not convinced about your brand, if you do not believe in your brand, it will show in the way you talk about your brand. So you need to believe in your brand. You should build your brand around your mission and vision. Then work constantly to enhance and sustain it. Consistency is key. for growth. Consistency is paramount for people to see what you're doing and then get to believe in what you're doing. So you ask yourself, what makes you different? So while creating your own brand, spend time to think about what makes you different from your peers. Why are you doing what you're doing? What makes you stand out? Is it your strength? Is it your passion? Is it your goals? Is it your deliverables? Be clear about your direction. Know who you are as well and who you are not. So I'm in the branding space. I'm the executive presence stage. I am in the customer experience arena. I know where my strengths are, so I do not deviate from them. I can't tell you I'm going to teach you about finance because it's not my field. All right, so know what makes you different. Your brand is about the experience you deliver. People are not looking for service anymore. They're looking for an experience. That's why a couple of months ago, I was teaching people, and they wanted me to speak about customer experience, customer service. And I told them, no, I cannot speak about customer service because customer service is dead. What people are looking for right now is customer experience. They're looking for an experience. It is the experience that gets them to come back to do business with you. It is the experience they have with you when they meet you that attracts them to stay with you. Now, the last speaker said something very profound and something that I believe in. People do not connect with businesses, they connect with personalities, they connect with you. Like I would usually say, when people connect with you, that is an opportunity for you to get to connect them to your business. So invariably, people connect with people and then in turn, they are connected to their business or their businesses. So your brand isn't just about your logo, it's about the total experience you deliver to your clients. It's an experience. How do they feel when they meet you? How do they feel when they leave you? It is the promise on which you build your business to sustain and win clients' loyalty. Make sure you consistently deliver on your commitment. I usually tell people in customer experience, under promise but over deliver. This is what will get people to keep coming back to you. If you are going to take 5 days to deliver a product, tell them you're going to deliver it in 7 days and then deliver it in 5 days or less. With that, there is credibility and there is trust, and they will keep coming back to you. Give them an experience that they can never forget. Never feel ashamed to ask for advice. Now, I usually tell people that mentors are needed because truly mentors are really needed. People don't want to get mentors. They just want to get up and just fly up and just begin to do their things. Get to ask questions. Ask for advice from people that are already ahead of you. Because, I mean, if you keep bumbling and keep failing, people might not just trust your brand. Never feel ashamed to ask for advice. A gentle reminder, always ask yourself, why? Why am I doing this? What's the essence of my doing this? Why? From time to time, ask yourself this big question again. What makes you embark on this personal branding journey? Why are you doing it? What defines you? Are you who really want to work with? A gentle reminder to you on track or even push you to an even greater heights. So always ask yourself time to time, why? Why am I doing this? Do I still have the passion to do this? Is there interest in this? Always ask yourself why. And then be a niche. Focus on one thing and do it your best. Be niche. Don't be jack of all trades, master of none. That will create confusion to your customers. Figure out what your differential is in the market and then play up with that. Why are you different? What makes me stand out? You tell me you dress well. And I tell them, yes, I dress well because it is a niche for me. All right? So let me just rush it out. Live out your brand. Let people always see that you're living what you say. Does your personality reflect the brand that you're working to build? So when people see me, they say, this guy, you're always dressed. They can never catch you dressed down. True. Because the way you dress gives you access to a lot of places. Live out your brand, walk the talk, work to ensure your embodied brand is in what you do every day. Interact with people and let them get to see your brand. Distinguish yourself from the rest. It's very important. A good brand story will elevate your status to a level you can never imagine. Always stand out, irrespective of where you are. I walk into a room and then people are wondering, who is this guy? Because I'm well dressed, my shoulders are high, I'm confident, and I can interact with anyone. The reason why most people fail to interact with people is because they are not confident. Why are they not confident? It's because they have not read enough. They've not done researches enough. So when you get to study and get to read more, you get to understand and then build confidence in whatever area that you are in. Keep an open mind. Expect new ideas. Never keep a closed mind. And then also know that branding is not about you. Always remember that. It is about how you can add value to other people's life. So create helpful content that shapes one's opinion about you. For example, a blog, social media posting, books and videos. Now, what personal brand will do to you or do for you is that it will move you from the level that you are to the level that you want to be. Over the years, over the period of doing training online for free, and that helped us build a personal brand and to be a member of our business in the US, in the UAE, in Nigeria, personal brand. And being able to talk for the church is as a result of being able to build, because when you do that, you become the influence and you become a force to
Hello, Dr. Press. Please, can we still hear him?
come with. So always build, and then to be able to help you build up. Because everybody in the world, trust me, they want to see the brand. Thing will happen. And my last word is this.
Dr. Praise, you're actually muted.
Muted, yes.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you. So.
Thank you
Can
very
you still
much.
see my screen?
Well, no, not again. But we can see you. Thank you. That
okay, you can
that
see me.
was,
okay.
That was that was a phenomenal session. An absolutely phenomenal session. Ladies and gentlemen, please ensure that you connect with Dr. Eno Priests on LinkedIn to be able to benefit and learn from his content, to be able to learn more. If you like to, reach him personally, I'm sure that you can do that. Phone number on the screen currently. So please save these numbers, screenshot these numbers, and ensure that you connect with him. And like I said earlier, ensure you also connect with him on LinkedIn. At this point, I'd like to take any questions that we may have for the speaker. Please, do we have any questions from the audience, please? Any questions from the audience? Okay, so I can see comments already. Please Ensure you stay muted, except you'd like to ask a question.
Yeah, Fred, I wanted to ask a question. I'm permitted to now.
Please do that. Please go ahead.
Okay, my name is Steven. I'm in Ghana. I wanted to ask Doug a question. In fact, I was having a problem with the connection, so I couldn't stay tuned with a lot of the things he was putting across. But I heard him say that you shouldn't build a brand that you cannot buy or something. I don't know whether I've quoted him right. If a personal brand that you buy, I want to ask if what about if you have been able to build a brand so big that all over the world you are being sorted after. I mean, I don't know. Are you talking in terms of monetary wise, or how are you framing that for my understanding, sir? Thank you.
Thank you very much for that question.
So can I answer that?
Yes, please go ahead.
All right, so I said, do not sell a brand that you cannot buy. Now, let me explain that. If you do not believe in your brand enough for you to buy it, do not sell it, because people would see that you do not believe in it. So first, you need to believe in your own brand enough that if someone tells you, hey, can you buy this brand called Steve K? You wake up and say, yes, I trust the brand called Steve K. I can buy it. Do you understand?
Very much about it.
Yeah, that's what I meant. So you need to build your brand to the extent that you believe in it, that if someone is selling that brand to you, you can buy it. Then with that, at that point, you can eventually begin to sell the brand to people, because there will be so much conviction and so much trust in the brand that you're selling.
Okay, I get it now. So it is more or less you believing in the brand that you are projecting out there. Yes, I get it now.
You've got to believe in the brand that you're selling.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Thank you. We have another question from you in the chat box. This one says that I'd like to ask how you navigated from obscurity to this level of visibility. What sacrifices would you advise one to make, and what balances are required?
Okay, great. Yeah, I can see the question. I like to ask how you navigated from obscurity to the level of visibility. Now, visibility is what it's very important. Now, let me give you an equation that will help you. So you can, I mean, everyone can write this down. So strength multiplied by visibility. Hold on, let me get that. I know I had to write that down. Write down that equation to help me over the years. Hold on, I'll be with you in. Okay, so first hear this. So first hear this. Contact creates impact. So you need to write this down. Contact creates impact. Impact creates value, and then value creates income. All right. Now, over the years, I discovered that I needed to be seen. So I have strength, right? I have values. I do not add visibility to the strength and the values that I have. One will see people to be able to see skills that you have. So how do you show skills you have? By doing something with the skill. So every time people ask you what you can do it for free. Because in so doing, People get to see the abilities that you have and begin to engage you to do those things. I did a couple of pro bonos. I've done a couple of pro bonos in my life. Not getting paid. I'll do trainings, not getting paid. I'll give you an instance. We approached the bank to do a training for them, and they said to us, "We don't know you. We've never heard of you." And I said, "Yes, I'm sure you've not heard of me, but give us a chance. We're not going to charge you for this session. We're going to do a 3-day training for your staff. We're not going to charge you. But if you love what we do after 3 days, you're going to pay us something." And the MD of the bank said, "Okay, no problem. Let's give it a try." And we went in there on a Wednesday. Did day 1, did day 2 Thursday, did day 3 Friday. At the end of day 3, the MD of the bank was screaming. It's like, "You guys blew it. This is great. So when can you come back to have another training with my people?" And then I said, "You've got to pay us." And he said, "Yes, give us a proposal." Now, if we did not take that shot to be seen and doing the pro bono, there is no way we would have been seen. So you need to always step out. Like the last 3 things I said: be seen, be visible, be heard, and be outstanding. You need to be seen. Go out, let people see you. Let people see what you can do. And then you need to sacrifice by doing pro bonos. Hey, in this part of the world, people don't want to do things for free. But hey, go to the western part of the world. People are ready to do things for free so that they can have the experience. So when they ask you, "Where have you done it before?" You say, "I've done it for this, I've done it for that, I've done it for these people." I'm like, "Oh, really? You've got experience." So always go out and then make sacrifices. It's not every time you want to charge money. The time for money will come, but get to do things for free, and then it will help you stand out. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Like I said earlier, absolutely mind-blowing. That was a fantastic session. Thank you very much for your time and for honoring our invitation. We look forward to having you at other events, and we do hope that when we reach out to you, you would oblige us.
I'll try. I'll try. I believe I will be free. It's a really busy period for me, but I needed to do this. Thank you, Cityscope, for having me. Thank you, everyone, for having me. It's a real privilege. So thank you very much.
All right, then. Thank you. Just a couple of announcements before we have our final 2 speakers for today. But you would agree with me that today has been value-packed. So it's not just about us coming together to have a conversation or a discussion. It's also about the value that we have taken from this session today. I mean, I have lots to implement after today's conference. Amazing. A couple of announcements. Organized for this press conference, the 2022 Business Professional and Entrepreneurs Conference, the 6th edition. Our organizers of Africa have a magazine, and if you'd love to download the magazine, please, we would like you to visit www.cityscopeafrica.com. So that is cityscopeafrica.com. You can also send if you'd like to advertise to magazine@cityscopeafrica.com. The Cityscope Africa magazine is a corporate people, Afro-tourism, and lifestyle publication of Cityscope Africa. It is inspired, educative, and it is futuristic. So you can, if you take a look at the screen right now, you can see that on the screen. So we'd love for you to go ahead and download a copy by visiting that particular link. I'd also like to share 2 very educative books to support the conversations that we're having here today. The first one is Plus Series, which is a platform dedicated to adding value to you. And we'd like to encourage you, we'd like to let you know that through this book, it will help you realize the need to be valuable. If there is one thing that all our speakers have said here today is about value, either the value and what you exude as an employer and attracting talent, or through your personal brand and executive presence. So this book, The Value Memo, is a compilation of some of the best write-ups from the Cityscope Africa team, and you can download and be motivated. So please go ahead. The link would also be shared right now in the chat box. Please ensure that you download this book. And you can also follow the pages dedicated to this particular resource plus series on all social media platforms. Now, the second resource I'd like to share with you is called the 360-Degree Career. And this was written by our first speaker, Faith Akintunde. From the value that she shared, the amazing, incredible knowledge that she shared with us, you can tell that she knows her onions. And by purchasing this book, what are the things that you would learn? You will learn how to prepare for and get the right job opportunities, how to aid interviews, strategies to cope in difficult work environments, skills to manage your boss effectively. And if you're an employer of labor, you can buy these for your employees as well, and how to stay motivated. So you can definitely buy it for yourself. You can buy it for people that are around you. Ensure that you visit the link, which would also be shared in the chat box. Now, moving on to our next, and don't forget, like I said earlier at the beginning, that we're going to be giving 2 entrepreneurs an opportunity to advertise for free in Cityscope Africa magazine. I'm going to be asking questions at the end of the session, so ensure you stay tuned, you stay till the end so that you can get the question and you can, be the winner of this amazing prize. So now moving on to our next speaker. Our next speaker is none other than Samson Ibiwoye Possibilities. Please make sure that you stay at the end of the program. We have 2 more speakers. We still have Dr. Adama Kaluko, all the way from Sierra Leone. She has been with us since the beginning, and I'm just so excited. I'm really excited to hear from her when it's time for her session. But just before her session, we have another phenomenal speaker, Samson Ibiwoye Possibilities. Is the director of Hepzibah Graphics and Computer Training Institute. And he is going to be speaking to us on renewing stillness, standing strong in the midst of competitiveness. This is a very powerful, powerful, powerful topic. Samson, are you with us today, please? Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
All right, then. Hi. Thank you very much for joining us. It's such an honor to have you here.
It's good to be here. I don't know, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right.
Very well.
All right, so I apologize. I want to first appreciate very mega event, Cityscope Africa. Thanks for the privilege to share the little I know. When I was here, I know that by the grace of we find value from what we shared here this morning. Thank my brother. Even though I've not met in person, it's been an online conversation. Why? Mr. Tommy Sin. Thank you very much for the privilege. I don't take it for granted at all. Stillness, renewing stillness, standing strong in the midst of competitiveness. Now, you will all agree with me that the era we live in is such that one man's poison is another man's best meal. In other words, just when someone leaves a job right now, the next minutes, thousands are waiting to take on that job. Simply, there is hardly a space for job opportunity out there. So the truth is that as much as you want to get a job, as much as you want to be valuable, there are things you have to take into consideration. And that's what we want to look at this morning by God's grace. I also want to say that as a new job is being created by you or by someone else, understand the fact that before that job is completely, finalized, thousands are waiting to be employed. As a matter of fact, the workforce, we can say, is already filled. So the question now comes to you, where are you in the midst of all of these things? Where am I in the midst of this competition? Where are you in the midst of this competition? So in the world of work, I am a media person, a mass communication needs, as a matter of fact, there's something we say in the media, when they say news story is stale, they simply mean that it adds no value anymore. It simply means that it attracts no attention. It commands no relevance. So if you as an individual are stale, if your skills are stale, if your proficiency is stale, whatever you have, if it is stale, not fit into the workforce, you're not fit into the corporate world. So what we are seeing in essence is this: as an individual, you must be able to refurbish, you must be able to redefine, you must be able to break away from the stale nature of yourself, of your personality, of your packaging, of your skill or whatever, so that you can become employable, so that you can find a space and a place in the workforce or in the market world. All right. I believe I have a short time, but I'm just going to move fast now. Now, I said here, when we look at you being stale, or in the world of business or in the world of work, when someone is stale or something is stale, I wrote something down here. It simply means you are fishing at the bank of the river when the waves of the river have moved the fishes into the deep. So now, when the waves of the river have moved the fishes into the deep, and you stand at the bank of the river, you will stand forever without having a catch. In other words, for you to have a catch in the world of work, for you to have significance in the world of work, then you need to renew staleness. It means that you have been standing at a place for so long, and then you need to move. Now, there is this book on Who Moved My Cheese. I hope you have read that. Some of us will have read that, especially business people and value-oriented people must have read Who Moved My Cheese. And you look at the fact that where you used to find value before has moved. So the COVID era has changed a lot of things. Before you used to, am I fine? Am I okay? Why? Because trends, realities of life has changed things, or have changed things. The way things are done, that's changed the way businesses are done, that's changed the way people apply for jobs, that's changed the way people long for jobs, that's changed the way people are recruited into the corporate world. So the question now is, are you still looking in the place where your cheese were before? Or has it been moved and you are looking further to finding it? All right, so I'm going to share two things with us, three things as a matter of fact, but then I'll ask some questions which are very relevant to what I'm going to talk about today. Before we go ahead, there are these three questions to ask. Where are you? The first one is, where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Then the next one is, going back the space of 2 years. Going back the space of 2 years. Has anything changed about you? Has anything changed? This is a very sensitive question. The last year, precisely 2020, marked the time of turnaround for businesses, a time of turnaround for individuals. Why some collapsed, why some lost their stand, others gained ground. Two things happened there. Some other persons lost relevance because of where they were. Others understood where they were and moved to where the world is at the moment. So the question is, are you still where you are? Have you moved? So going back the space of 2 years, has anything changed about your life? Has anything changed about your orientation? Has anything changed about your approach to life? Has anything changed about your attitude as a person? Has anything changed about your skill sets? Or do you still want to maximize, or do you just want to swim in the place where you have been? Do you want to swim with the prowess with which you swam 2 years ago? Now, the next question is this. Can you say you are employable. Can you say you're employable? Now, God is a merciful God. Yes, God wants to have mercy on us. But the truth is that there are certain principles God follows. God is a God of principles. He will ask you, are you yourself employable? So will others ask you, are you employable? The next question is, if you are to employ someone like you in an organization, someone like you, the way you are at the moment, if you are to employ someone like just the way you are at the moment, will the person be qualified enough for that job? Put yourself as an employer and at the same time as an employee. You come to yourself for a job. Now, would you give yourself that job? Would you be qualified enough for that job as you are now? Then the last question is this. I'm going to talk about this at the end. What is in your hand? That's a very sensitive question I want us to pay attention to. What is in your hand? What is in your hand? As an individual, what is in your hand? As an employer, what is in your hand? As a job seeker, what is in your hand? As a business person, what's in your hand? As an entrepreneur, what is in your hand? So we go on. What are the steps to take if you must renew stillness? If you must shift, if you must experience a paradigm shift, if you must experience a shift in your stand, in your positioning, and as an individual, one of the things you must do is reskilling. Okay, reskilling. Now, what we are saying here, I say, if you're a job seeker and you haven't put through with your highly celebrated skill, friend, there is this skill you have. For instance, you celebrated so much. Perhaps last year, it was what many people were after. But now, you need to reskill. That is long gone. That was how I asked that question 2 years back. Just go back the space of 2 years. Where are you? What has changed about you? You must understand that a lot of things has changed about the world of work. A lot of things has changed about how people do businesses. A lot of things has changed about how people are employed to corporate world. So the question now is, you need to reskill. The skill you had 2 years ago, which made waves for you, may not be sufficient. You might be a first-class graduate with highly celebrated qualification, but the question now is this: that year that you graduated, what was in vogue has changed. So you need to reskill, right? You need to retrain yourself. You need to take on new skills. You need to empower yourselves by getting on to know what is needed at the moment. You know, the era we are in now is not the era of employment. It is the era of deployment. Two things. The era of employment, it's gone. The era of deployment is where we are in. That is why concentrating on being employed now. I'm not concentrating on you having a job. I'm concentrating on you deploying what you have. The era of deployment. Now, if you don't reskill, you can't fit into that era. If you don't reskill, what do I mean by reskilling? Get a new skill. See, it is not about the course of study. It's not about your profession. It's about what value is sought after. That is what is in vogue. What value do people look for in the world today around you? What is the problem you need to solve? What challenges are people facing that need to be solved? That is what you need to look at. Then you reskill in that area. Reskilling in the sense that you get a new job and get a new skill, train on a new aspect of life. For instance, this is the ICT world. This is the era of technology. Now we are all apart across the world, across the nation, and we are all converged. You know, we've all converged here on this platform to talk about different things. Now the question is, the world of work has changed. So what skill is needed now? Reskill, get that skill now. As much as it is needed, get the skill so that you can become valuable. When I joined, I heard the last speaker talking about value. I was talking about value. The truth is that you can't be significant without having a value to add. If there is no value you can add to the world of work, to people around you, you are as good as insignificant as not existing. So if you must be recognized, if you must be employable, if you must be fit for any job at all, you must learn on this, you must take on new skills. You must take on new skills, all right? So in this case, we are talking about skills that will sell you, not just any skill, skills that will sell you. You want to learn shoemaking, fine. What the truth is that can that shoemaking sell you? Now, or is there a new skill you want to introduce to shoemaking that can sell you? Fine, that's beautiful. That's a beautiful one. You can do that. Get a new skill. That's the basic. That's basic. Now, I'm going to tell you a first-class graduate who graduated 2011 to be precise. He graduated with the first class, the only first-class graduate in his class, and after many years. Now, he went on to different organizations with that certificate of first class. You know, it was an honor to him. In fact, the school celebrated him and all that. So he went to another state with that same certificate of first class. And then at the places he went to, they were like, no, we can't take you. Do you have this skill? No. Can you do this? No, he couldn't. Then he began to look at himself. Is this now worthless? Of course it was. His certificate was worthless because the skills needed at that time, he didn't possess them until he reskilled. And he went back to some of those organizations. They didn't look at his certificate. They didn't look at his credentials. They asked the question, can you do this? This is what we are after. Can you do it? And he said, yes, I can. And I even add more to it. And he said, wow, if that be the case, then let's see your credentials. And so after that, they looked at his credentials and he got the job. He got a job. While working on that job, he got more ideas to start up his own business. Now, if he hadn't rather reskilled, he would remain at the level of carrying paper about. That is not the level we are in. We are at the level of deployment. So they will ask you the question, what can you give? So it's not, I've said it's not a time, to say, what do I want to give? This is not the course I studied. It's about talking about what value can I add at the moment. So if you look at it, if it's a tech ICT knowledge skill you want to get, why not get it? If that is the problem around you, why not look for that skill, acquire that skill, and solve the problem that requires that skill? All right, the second one I will talk about is upskilling. Then I'll move to redefining. The next one is upskilling. I'll tell a story. A young lady that is during the period of COVID, the lockdown, that was 2020. Of course, I'm in Delta State, and I'd known her in Lagos State. So she applied for a job. Shortly after we got talking, she met him and said, I want to learn graphic design, and because that was one of the things I do. I said, that's fine. What do you have? What aspect of it would you want? So she told me, and then within the space of 2 weeks, I put her through on that. She gained the skill, she got the skill, and then I got some jobs. I referred them to her. She did them well. I did corrections, and that was all. Then early this year, late last year, she applied for a job. She went for the first stage of the interview, the second stage of the interview, the third stage of the interview. Now there was the last stage. The last stage of the interview was 3 months ago. 3 months ago. And then it hadn't got they got more than the number of people they wanted. They looked at their credentials, the exams they had written, they all passed. They were all fit, but one thing was lacking in others. The graphic design skill was lacking. And she put that in a stage. All of this I do graphic design with cover. And the employer called her and said, please, we saw this in your CV. Are you sure about this? She said, yes. Then they asked her some questions. She showed them some of the things she had done. And they said, please go ahead and take on the job. That was it. She upskilled. That's what I'm saying. She upskilled, she upgraded herself, regardless of what you have, friends, regardless of the things you do. I'm in the academic environment, for instance. I lecture by God's grace, but the thing is that some of my classes, I do them online, and I'm able to cover more grounds because I understand that there are certain things you can do at the comfort of your home, that the students are relaxed. They take some of the courses you give them, and then the best comes out of it. You upgrade. So while others are carrying papers about, you can sit in the comfort of your office and take on class. You must keep upskilling. You must keep going up, keep going up. Where you were last year is stale, friends. It's stale. As a matter of fact, 2 months ago, you are stale. You are still, because every week, every new day, new things happen. So you must be on the lookout. As journalists, they tell us you must have the nose for news. That means be inquisitive. So as a job seeker, as an entrepreneur, as a business person, as an employer, you must also have the nose for news. What is going on in my line of business? What is going on in my line of career? What is the new skill they want? What is the new thing in this skill I have? How do I upgrade? For instance, you can do video editing. You can start with Adobe CC 2017. You can go about doing 2012. Before you know it, in the next few months, you become stale. You see some effects people are doing in video editing. I wonder, please, where did they get this one from? How did they do this thing? It becomes so big in your eyes, not knowing that somebody had upgraded their skill. So upgrade your skill, friends. Upgrade your skill. I said not era to say, to tell people to take you as you are. If you are expecting job employers to take you as you are, you have failed. You have failed. Rather, it is the era to tell them, I am more than meets the eye. That is the level. That is the level you can get to. Tell them, I am more than what you see. Don't tell them, please take me as I am. If you are expecting people to take you as you are insignificant, you are invaluable, right? So this is the stage where you tell them, I am more than to let them know that there is more to you. That is the stage you are in. So it means that you obtain new skills. Get going up, upgrade your skill. If you have been doing, for instance, if you have been doing a business before now, or you have been seeking a job before, wearing suit, carrying your flyers and all that, why not log on to the internet? Why not take on some courses online and become more employable? Take up some courses within the comfort of your home. Some of these courses, you can take them over the night where network reception is very okay. You can have enough time to yourself. There's no distraction. You have time. You study in a space of a month or less than. You get a new skill. You get new job opportunities, and then you keep going. So upgrade. This is the time to upgrade. This is the best time to tell the people. The truth is that the cheese have been moved. So upgrade yourself. Upgrade yourself, friends. And the second or the last, before I go to, I'm trying to be fast because of time. Please pardon me. I understood there is a timing that I have to work with. Okay, so now the next one is redefine. Understand that nobody is a friend. Excuse me, please. Nobody is a friend to stagnation. Nobody, never. Nobody is a friend to stagnation. If you remain at the same point, people will leave you. You will rot there. You become rotten there. So nobody is a friend to stagnation. Redefine. Now, there is a definition you had 1 year ago. There was a definition you had 2 months ago. Change the perspectives. Change the status quo. Change, redefine yourself. I said something to myself many years ago after I listened to one man speak. I said to myself, none of us has the power to decide how we were born, or where we were born, or even when we were born. No. But then we have the power to decide how our lives turn out. You have the power to say, no, this is where I was born. I don't want that. I was born here. I don't want that. I was born like this. I can't remain there. I have the power now to change my life, to change my status, to change the way things work for me. So you must redefine. I need to talk about it before I go to the last one, which will be the peak of it all. You must redefine. You must redefine. Now, the thing is here is that your background is not enough, of course, to put your back to the ground. Don't always remember that. It's not enough to put your back to the ground. The more you keep emphasizing on your background, you will remain on the back. Your back will remain on the ground. The more you keep emphasizing, this is where I grew up from. I know of an individual who grew up with nothing. He had nothing. But today, he's a celebrated business entrepreneur. He's a business person, a celebrated entrepreneur. But the question now is, are you set to redefine yourself, to give yourself a new meaning? Give yourself a new look. Give yourself a new approach. Give yourself a new value. Wear yourself a look that anyone who sees you has a respect for you, wants to be like you, wants to have a taste of what you've got with you. So redefine. Are you still in the era of 1 + 1 = 2? If you're still in the era of 1 + 1 = 2, you might have failed. Because today, friends, 1 plus 1 can be more than 2, can be anything, can be just be anything. 1 plus 1 can be 10, 1 plus 1 can be 11, 1 plus 1 can be 4, can be anything today. Why? Because of the proficiency, because of the realities of the times that we are in. A lot of things have changed. So you must be able to fit in, redefine yourself so that you can fit into the world of work, so I can fit into the lines of business, to the lines of career that you have chosen, right? I have one more thing to say. You know, the COVID-19 pandemic has placed a demand on our creativity for more and more room. That's created also more room. So while others are losing opportunities, others are grabbing and creating one. So you should be able to create opportunities by redefining yourself, by changing your status quo. So the question, the choice, of course, is yours. I don't know if I'm making sense, please. If I'm communicating to you, please just kindly get back to me. Thank you very much. Now, the last one I want to talk about is a question. What is in your hands? What is in your hands? What is in your hands? Now, thank you very much, sir. Let's get back to the Bible. Please permit me. God asked Moses. You know, Moses was like, God, I stammer. I have a slow tongue. I don't have the confidence. I have the place you're sending me to, Egypt, where I killed someone and ran away. I can't do that. So he had all manner of excuses, never to answer the call. But then God asked him a question: what is in your hand? He was very smart enough to say a rod. It was a rod. What is in your hand? It was a rod. Now the question is, do you have anything in your hand? What is in your hand? You have a value that you need to upgrade. See, we can't talk about upskilling. We can't talk about upskilling. We can't talk about redefining if you don't know what is in your hand. We can't talk about that. The question is that, what skill have you got? What value can you add? Do you have any? Never say no. You see, I was talking with a group of people 3 days ago, and I said to them, never say no. Never say no. They were asking me, what do you mean never say no? I asked a question. Somebody may come to you and say, can you do this business? If you are careless, you will tell them I can't. You will tell them I can. Not forgetting the fact that the world we are in is the world of networking. That was why I said 1 plus 1 can be anything in this present times. So you don't say no. You can say, okay, yeah, give me some time, I can do this. Just let me get back to you. Then you look through your contacts. Who do you have in your contact that can do what the person has asked for? Get the person, get the quotation from him, and then strike a deal with the person who can do it. And then you become a middleman, and then get back to the person who has spoken with you. Before you know it, you get on to doing that business, it starts. Somebody is saying, I don't have capital. Capital is not basically finance, friends. It's not just money. Capital is not just capital. Do you take time to look at human capital? Do you take time to look at social capital? It's not about money now. It's not about finances. We're not talking about finances. Nobody's talking about finances as the first thing. The first thing you look at is, do you have human capital? Do you have social capital? That is, are there people you can bank on? Are there people you can leverage on? That is the first thing. You can start up a job without having the money. Somebody, we had a business session sometimes in March 6, and then before we started, a group of ladies walked up to me and said, sir, you are talking about business. You should start business, you should do business. Can I start a business without having money? And I said, yeah, why not? Okay. Giving them instances, a young man came, met my mentor, Femi Chada Nigeria precisely. He met him and said, sir, this is lockdown. I have so much money in my account. I don't know the business to do. I don't have any business idea. I don't have any business to start with. Then he says to them, he said to him, do you have a WhatsApp enabled form? He said, yes, sir. Okay. Do you have anybody that can do anything at all as a business? He said, yes, I have lots of them. Say, okay, now put to your status and say, what do you need? I can give you just anything. Now, with not the money, he didn't start with money. Now, he put that on the status, he kept updating his status, and somebody, a friend of his father, okay, the friend of the father asked him the question, okay, I got that, asked the question, can you do this? And he said yes. Then tell me what it costs. That's how I started. So we are looking at the fact that it is not about money. Do you have resources around you? What about human resources? What about social capital? So what is in your hand? What do you have that anybody can help you upgrade, that you yourself can upgrade to make you valuable in the world of work? All right, so I'm going to round off now. I'm already been cautioned. Thank you very much. I think I'm done with what I have here. Thanks for your time. I hope that I've been able to add value. Thank you so much. Sorry, I took so much time. I wasn't conscious about that. Thank you so much. God bless you.
All right, then. Thank you very much for that. Do we have any questions for Samson? Please drop your questions and we'll be able to share that with him. Please, Samson, if you don't mind, you could share a link on Facebook or your LinkedIn page in the chat box as well, so that our audience can connect with you and possibly even reach you after today's conference. At this time, we need to quickly take our final speaker for the day. Our final speaker has been here since, and she's all the way from Sierra Leone. Please permit me to welcome Dr. Adama Kaluko, and she is the founder of Impact Sierra Leone, an organization founded to reduce socio-economic challenges in Sierra Leone through empowerment, education, and building strong partnerships with the diaspora community. And she hopes that our mission will inspire other descendants of Africa to embrace their culture and positively impact their home country. She'll be speaking on Remember Your Worth. And I mean, there's one thing I can say already about Dr. Adama, that her appearance alone and her outfit is definitely inspiring me to embrace my culture already. Dr. Adama, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you so much. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, I am so excited, so empowered. All of the speakers have been so wonderful, so many nuggets. A lot of what I'm going to say, some of that has been shared, but I just think that this is a really fitting topic as we are still facing the pandemic. I am so excited, and I hope that something I say today can be taken and utilized and shared with others, because sharing. So again, my name is Dr. Adama Kaluko. Just a bit about myself. Again, I am a descendant of Sierra Leone, West Africa. I was born and raised in Washington, D.C., but gratefully, I visited Sierra Leone in 2003 for the first time, and it changed my life, led me to my purpose, and led me to who I am, who you see today. And so I'll touch on how your purpose, your culture, your background, they all connect. And so I want to start off with a quote, and I'm going to read it. I love quotes, so that's something that if you go to my page, you'll always see an inspiring quote. Life is too short to waste any amount of time on wondering what other people think about you. In the first place, if they had better things going on in their lives, they wouldn't have the time to sit around and talk about you. What's important to me is not others' opinions of me, but what's important to me is my opinion of myself. And that quote is by Joy Bell C. So I don't know about you, but COVID, the pandemic, in the way that I think. I've always been a positive person, but my positivity was challenged. You for we who were I'm based in the U.S., but my family and my organization is in Sierra Leone, so I don't live in Sierra Leone, but I love Sierra Leone. COVID really taught us a lot to endure and persevere through challenges without going. One of the things that a lot of us experienced, a lot of, including myself, was mentally a mental challenge. Just, when you see things on your left and your right going bad, it's hard to think. Mindset is everything. Your thoughts, your thinking really dictates what you do, how you do things, how you interact with people. If you are someone who always knows that things will not work out, guess what? Things will not work out. You have to have that vision in your mind that you are going to make it through the situation. For some of us, it's through prayer. For some of us, it's through, talking to others, getting counseling. What I always realize is that it's got to be that, as Malcolm X said, by any means necessary. Keep your mind fresh. Keep your mind thinking that, always thinking about the next step ahead. And so I wanted to just really make sure that I put out there that mental health is a key component in knowing your worth and knowing who you are. A lot of us grew up in different situations. Some of us in households with two parents, with one parent, some of us orphans, some of us in really sad situations. But one of the most compelling stories that I find are those people who overcome and become greater than their past, greater than their story. And so I wanted to just kind of mention that no matter what you have gone through, no matter what your story started out, you have the ability to change those chapters and change that story. So mindset is absolutely everything. I want to start and ask a few questions. Do you realize how powerful you are? Do you perceive yourself in a powerful way? How do you perceive yourself? What do you see when you look in the mirror? Do you see the good in others? Because not only is there power in seeing good in you, but being able to see good in others, now that is what you call growth, because it allows people to see that you see in a positive way, in a positive lens. Positivity is a superpower. It's not just a word, it's not just a thing. It is a superpower. And for many of us, positivity was survival during the COVID era. If you looked on the news, you had 30,000 dying one day, then 35,000 dying another day. You literally had to, for me, I turned off the news for some time. And I decided, every day through prayer, but I'm going to say something positive. My survival mechanism. Everyone has spoken about value, but knowing your value, knowing that you have and bring to the table is a value is key. It's a mindset thing, knowing that no matter what, you bring great things, greatness, great value to the table. And always remember, not just standing up behind the scene, but sitting at the table, having a voice. That is the key. I'll talk a little bit about how we use our insecurities for our good and not for our bad in a little bit. But insecurities really can make or break you in an industry as a professional, in being at the table and not just being in behind the scenes. So I always look at my life as a book. I don't know about you, but I always try to have these reflections. It's always good to have reflections. So if you were a book, ask yourself a question. If you were a book, would you be a bestseller? Or would you be a book that you pick up and put down? Oh my goodness. For me, I want to be a bestseller. I want every chapter of my life to count for something. I want someone to pick up my book and leave a better person. We've talked about using each day to be better than the last. I don't like when people say, I already know this is going to be a bad day. Well, you've already started that. Start each day on a good foot, and that's how I look at my life. I look at things that I've gone to be my best year. And then the next year that follows, this year to be my best. That's how mindset. My book that I want people to read, I want it to be the best book ever. So think about that as you think about all the things that we're going through and know so that you can grow. That is just part of life, you know. And so I wanted to ask, how many of you have ever stood in the mirror and looked at yourself and gave yourself your own pep talk? Like just literally looked in the mirror. I do it all the time. I never liked to do it because when I was growing up, I was very insecure. But one of the things that I embrace now, I embrace my flaws, but also the good things about myself. And I always do these mirror checks, you know, standing in the mirror and just saying, you know, you have greatness inside of you. You know, self-talk, positive talk, these affirmations, they really bring value to yourself, you know, because if you're a strong person, a strong mindset person, and an individual, how you present yourself, if you start out in that manner, there's no way no one can feel that presence because you know who you know that you are a person of value. So if you have not done it in a while, take some time today, go into the mirror, look at yourself. I mean, really look at yourself and just say, I am so proud of you and what you have gone through, what you have endured, what you have persevered from, and who you are and who you're going to become. I want everyone to do that exercise after this sometime today, you know, and it will really, really change your life. And try to do these reflections on a routine basis. Okay. And that's my next topic is your character and attitude will make or break you. Attitude is everything. I say this to people who are at the lowest end of the pole to your matters or know your attitude. I always say your attitude of gratitude will always lead to your attitude. Someone who pours into me, I always use the opportunity to thank you. Send those little thank you notes to people who send kudos to my posts on LinkedIn and Instagram. I get a lot of people that just say, I really appreciate what you're doing. I always make sure I take time to thank each and every person that takes time to respond to a post and then take time to pour into others. It really does make a difference. Sometimes people are always ready to just receive. I want to know who's going to help me. You know, if you're not ready to not only receive, but to give back, you're missing the point. You know, it's a cycle of life. As you give, you will receive. And that's something that I go by for the last few years. It has been an evidence in all the things that I've done, all the things that have come to me is because of the things that I have poured into others. And someone mentioned about sometimes doing things pro bono, not always looking to be paid for things. You know, sometimes what you give to others, you never know. It will come back to you in a greater way. So always be willing in everything that you post. Real, you know, think about, is this something that somebody's going to be able to get from? Am I going to inspire someone? You know, think about that as you communicate, as you engage. Always be ready to give and not always be ready to receive. Okay. So what I'm going to ask some more questions. What impression do you have on others? I mean, what do people really think about you? If someone has spoke you up in a conversation and they said, you know what, that have you ever heard of the person, Dr. Adama? What would they say about you? Would they have some unsure thoughts about you? Would they even know what you stand for? We've been talking about branding. You know, would they know your brand? Would they know what you speak of? Would they know what do you use your voice for? You know, some these are things that you have to think about. How do you impress people? You know, what do you do to impact others? How do you impact others? These are questions that we should always be asking ourselves. And so, you know, your attitude, your character will make or break you. That is your ticket to success. You know, this is what you speak to when it comes to your value. If your character does not speak to what you present and what you put on social media, you need to really re-examine yourself and re-examine what you stand for. Okay. Find your purpose. And so this is one of my favorite topics, your purpose. And in speaking about that, you know, when you know your worth, it leads you to your purpose. It's just without a doubt. That's just really what happened. So I wanted to share some of my favorite P's, you know. Embrace your purpose is one of my favorite P's. And so once I embraced my purpose, it led me to my passion. So four of my favorite P's are purpose, passion, potential, and planning. So once I embraced my purpose, and I'll get into my purpose right after this. Once I embraced my purpose, I found my passion. And it was like an eye-opening experience, meaning that everything that I did aligned with my purpose. Everything that I did aligned with that passion. It brought out vigor in me, excitement. You know, I had so many different jobs prior to being the founder and director of Impact Sierra Leone. And every job, every experience, I don't regret it. Every experience led me to my purpose. I'm going to go into that. But as you embrace your passion, your purpose, it will lead to your potential. It will bring out your potential. But you also have to plan. You also have to plan for your success and plan for a greater future. It doesn't just stop at, knowing your purpose. You have to act. You can't just be someone of your word. You have to take action on it. You have to sit down and take that notebook and say, okay, now that I know what is my purpose, now I got to go to the next step. I need to get networking. I need to put down a plan of how I'm going to get to that goal of fulfilling my purpose. It's one thing to know your purpose, but it's another thing to embrace your purpose and fulfill it and be able to have that purpose in your life fulfilled and impacting others, impacting the whole world. Okay. So I'm going to tell my story about how I found my purpose. As I mentioned before, I visited Sierra Leone in 2003. Little do I know that would change my life. Prior to visiting, I was in the military. I served in the U.S. Air Force for 4 years, active duty, and I was a dietetic technician. So I learned about nutrition, public health, and if you know what I'm doing right now with agricultural, sustainable development, it's all coming back. So that's why I said your experiences, never think that what you've done in your life is in vain. Don't regret things that have happened to you, but use it for your power. Use your experiences for your good. Don't look and sulk and say, I wish I coulda, woulda, shoulda. Those things will limit you. Don't limit yourself by what has gone on in the past, but use your past to propel you to your greater future. Okay. So I went into the military. I did active duty, but I realized that was just not going to be a lifetime. That's not going to be something I want to do for my life. So I was led into community service. I was in AmeriCorps, which is American version of Peace Corps. I served and I mobilized volunteers. I found that I loved doing that. Now, at the time, it did not pay well. When I looked at my peers, they were making high figure jobs and, in the corporate world and executive. And so I tried to run after that. And I tried to, get into office, but I realized, you know what? This is not my purpose. This is not what excites me. But I continue on because I know I had to bring the bread home. I needed to pay bills. But I knew in the back of my mind, I knew that there was something greater for me. There was something that was lying ahead for me that was going to use every single inch of my abilities and my skills to get to that, to impact. And that was what my desire. Knowing my goal in life, I wanted to be someone who impacted, who inspired, but also I wanted to help Sierra Leone. So as I thought about all those things, as time went on, I dipped into other things. I was an event planner. I was a wedding planner. I was a floor designer. But all those things did not pull out all of Adama. And so, but one thing that they did do, they led me to social media. As time went on, that was my space, Facebook and Instagram. I was never on LinkedIn, but I didn't realize how much power LinkedIn had in terms of networking. So long story short is that over the years, I was propelled to join groups because again, I found out that I love Sierra Leone and I wanted to help Sierra Leone. But I did not, I always was a part of a lot of groups. I was a helper. I was the one that was in several organizations, and I was helping them do great things. But I did not want to step out in a leadership. So people, a lot of people that knew me mentors that I didn't even realize they were mentors. So they said, I see something in you. You should think about leading your own organization. I shied away from it. I ran away from it because I didn't like public speaking. I background, and I did not want to be in the forefront because if I messed up, all eyes would be on me. But I had to realize, face your fears. Don't be afraid, because your failure can lead you to a greater purpose. And so, okay, 5 minutes more. So one of the things that that happened is that I want to fast forward to something that happened in 2019. I lost my job unexpectedly, and that challenge forced me to fight because I was a single mom of 2 kids, and I had no choice but to get out there and do something different. I had to change everything I was doing. I started doing these motivational videos, and so someone said, use your social media for use the content that you're doing as part of your purpose, but also to inspire others. I loved inspiring. If it doesn't inspire, I did not want to be a part of it. So I used my adversity to propel me to what I'm doing now. And I realized that I had great qualities to give. And it led me to the videos that I were doing every month. It helped me grow in my public speaking. I was no longer shy. I was no longer afraid. And as a result, I began to speak every month. I used my voice for my power. And from then on, it just became a domino effect of growth. I grew and it attracted so many people on LinkedIn and other social media platforms, and it gave me speaking platforms. It led me to a doctorate program. It led me to becoming a global goodwill ambassador, and it led me to founding Impact Sierra Leone in December 2019. And from that point on, I just felt that every day was a chance to grow. Every day was a chance to be my best. And so I wanted to just share, know your strengths and your weaknesses. Gallup poll is a great way to assess yourself. Always be real, assessing your strengths and your weaknesses, because it really helps you to know where you need to grow and where you have grown. You need to always reflect on the victories and not only the things that are going wrong in your life. Reflect on the victories that are going on in your life. Use social media for good. The previous speaker spoke about enhancing your personal brand. Your personal brand must be reflected on social media. And so I wanted to just share some things that I do. Use the right hashtags. Again, I'm a founder and director of Impact Sierra Leone. So I wanted to tap into all those others who are doing great things in Sierra Leone and West Africa. I use a network with a purpose. I don't just go on and just kind of put anything, but really be intentional about everything that you post. Look for mentors, but also be a mentor. Cheer others on. Look for ways to not only just look for a job, but look for opportunities for a lifetime. Use your story. Tell your story. Tell your story. I tell my story all the time. I love that. I love being African. So I use that as a way to attract others to Impact Sierra Leone. I'm wearing an authentic outfit from Sierra Leone. I love female empowerment. This was made by a young woman. So I use every opportunity, every chance to empower others. Empowerment and inspiration are my favorite tag words I use. Develop a bio. It really makes a difference. Be ready because it makes you ready for those opportunities. Take headshots. Invest in yourself. Take advantage of free training. Invest in quality wear, business wear, and again, invest in yourself. That will be the best thing that you can do. Network, network, network. I'm sorry, I'm going fast because we're pretty much believe in your brand. If you don't believe in your brand, no one will believe in your brand. And I'll leave with affirmations. Develop personal affirmations for yourself. I'll leave with one of my favorite is greatness is inside of me, and greater is coming. I say those in almost most of my posts because it's as you speak the words out, those words have power. And so I think I'll go ahead and just wrap up. Don't compare yourself to others. Do what makes you feel good. Make things happen. Every day I try to look at, okay, what did I do today that could have been better? And the next day I start off afresh. I don't take in yesterday's woes into today. Define yourself. Let no one else define you. Have faith in yourself and don't go and duplicate others. but always be authentic, just like someone said before. So again, Dr. Adama Kaluko, I'm really excited and thankful to Cityscope Africa for allowing me to be a part of this wonderful session. And I hope there'll be more opportunities for us to speak and to explore and learn from each other. So I'm really sorry that I rushed through because the time is out. But if I can leave anything, please take time to smile today. Give someone else a smile. We're going through some times and all over the world. Take some time to encourage and inspire someone, even if it's just a simple note that I just want to say hello. Just use that as a way to encourage, and it will come back to you. Give to others, and it will always come back to you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Adama. That was great. That was. Do we have any questions, please? I was wondering if you could please share your LinkedIn page or any social media profile you'd love for us to connect with you on.
Yeah.
You can share that in the chat box.
Definitely.
Fantastic. Please do. Do you have any questions from Dr. Adama's session? If not, we would like to thank you for your time. Today, we'd like to thank you for honoring our invitation and for accepting. I know that you have been here right from the start of today's event, and we know you have a very busy schedule, but we really thank you. Thank you so much. All right, then we're running off today's event in less than 10 minutes. At this point, we'd like to give 2 entrepreneurs an opportunity to advertise their business in Cityscope Africa magazine. To allow me pick these 2 people. Okay, so Dr. Adama has shared that in the chat box rather. To allow me pick these 2 people, I'd like 2 people to share with me. I mean, more people, but I mean, the faster, the better. In the chat box, or if you'd like to unmute, that would be great as well, to share with me key nuggets, 1 key nugget from 3 speakers today. So can we have 2 people who would like to go first? Share with me 1 nugget from 3 speakers. We had 5 speakers today. So share with me 1 nugget from at least 3 speakers in the chat box. If you'd like to unmute, please signal so that I can allow you unmute and share with us. So while that is going on, I'm going to call the person to take the closing remarks. But let me also mention rather that it's important that you connect with Cityscope Africa on different social media. Okay, so we have Steve K. So let me. Hi, Steve K. Please go ahead. You can unmute.
Hi, please can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, sorry, I'm driving, so maybe there will be downhole sound at the background. Okay, so I will start from Dr. Adama, and she says, embrace your purpose and fulfill it. You don't just have to just have a purpose, but embrace your purpose and fulfill it. And Samson also said, redefine your skills and upskill yourself. He has a question that what is in your hands? Identify what you have and focus on it and build it up. And he says, never say no. Never say no. Then Dr. Eno Priests also says that without a personal brand, you are just a commodity in the market. Without a personal brand, you are just a commodity in the market. He says that contact creates impact. So look within your list and make sure that you are connected to people that you can learn from them, and as well impact your generations with whatever that you have learned.
Thank you. Thank you. I mean, Steve K really took notes. So congratulations. You are the first winner of the free advert placement in Cityscope Africa magazine. The organizers will reach out to you. Please drop, do a direct message in the chat box to Cityscope Africa Academy, the account called Cityscope Africa Academy. Just please send your name and your phone number right there so that the team can reach out to you. Do we have another person? I saw someone earlier who was trying to share. Do we have any other person who would like to share with us? I mean, 1 key nugget you learned from 3 speakers today. We had 5 speakers in total, so that is very, very fair from, to say that you can actually share with us. Yeah. And on that note, we have come to the end of the African Business Professional African Business Professionals, rather, and Entrepreneurs Conference, the 6th edition. So till next year when we have the 7th edition, my name is Kemi Olawoye. It was a pleasure being your host. A big thank you to the Cityscope Africa team for allowing me to host this event. I look forward to connecting with you all. Have an amazing evening. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye.